Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you know how we do it over here. Yes, we get our shout outs out the way, and then and only then we get into the podcast. So let's do just that and run that beautiful bean footage, and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Beverly Jackson 6875. And yes, Beverly came through to support the channel. She always does. She is a ride or die, always supporting, always coming through. She is the best. She is, and she is the kindest and the sweetest. So thank you, Beverly. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, we have some things to talk about because it looks like more legitimate news organizations are starting to come out and say that Harry and Meghan will be in the UK in mid-July. I kid you not, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah, and we also going to talk about how they have started to ramp it up. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the nonsense from the flying monkeys. Yes, the flying monkeys, they are flying around creating chaos, at least trying to, and telling their lies, trying to paint Harry and Meghan as the villains. Yes, their usual bullshites. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a certain talk show host who had nothing but smoke for Meghan. It looks like Channel 5 has decided to throw her into the dumpster. Let me tell you, I have saw so many memes of squatties posting people throwing people into the dumpster. Yes, because it looks like Vanessa Feltz has been sacked. Yes, her show is no more. Lady Karma is 2-0 this week. She is undefeated. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about something we kind of touched on yesterday. And that is the behavior of Kitty's mother at Ascot. And it is some video that has come out that make her look like she was SHIT face at Ascot. Now, y'all know we talked about this yesterday in my last podcast, and that's exactly what I said was going on. Well, now we got the video, and we're going to talk about that. And of course, we have other things. You know, we always have other things to talk about. Y'all know I be digging, finding stuff. So, yeah, we have a few other things to talk about. So, y'all know what y'all need to do. Y'all got to lock in and know that I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. So, let's start with this. And as you can see, CNN just entered the chat. What do y'all think about that? CNN is a pretty legit news organization. But it's three words at the end of this post that really makes me think that they don't know no more than I do, because Harry and Meghan has not come out to confirm. This is what CNN says. It says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are expected to be accompanied by their two children, Archie 7 and Lilibeth 5, in what would be their first trip to the UK as a family in 4 years. British media reported. And those three words right there let me know that we don't know no more than we did before CNN reported, because they're going on what the British media is saying. And we know the British media is trash. They do nothing but lie. So we still need to wait for Harry and Meghan to confirm. The only thing that really makes me think that it is a possibility that this might be true is the fact that Harry and Meghan has not come out to shoot it down. And I really feel this has been leaked. If it's true, it has been leaked, and it was leaked by Kensington Palace. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I really feel that we don't know no more than we did yesterday when all this came out. But the firestorm continues to grow and the heat keeps getting hotter. So I'm thinking that Harry and Meghan is going to come out and say something, especially if it's not true, because the firestorm is just heating up. It's more and more and more articles being churned out and all of these panel discussions. I'm telling you, I saw one on Royal Uncensored. Oh, it was on my timeline. And that comedian, that his last name is Dolan. I can't remember what his first name is. That man is so reckless with his mouth. And he lies so easily. I mean, the lies just slip from his tongue just so gracefully. He is such a lying piece of you know what. And he is very dangerous. When I say he is reckless with his mouth, I mean, he sit on that panel and said some very insinuatory things about Meghan. I mean, known lies. He sit there with a straight face. That man is dangerous. But I digress. I'm hoping that Harry and Meghan will come out and set the record straight if they're going to be over there or not, so us squatties can know exactly what we need to do. Yes, do we need to hop on these internet streets, take off our earrings, tie up our ponytails, and throw some hands? We need to know. Because y'all know I'm ready.
You cannot. Hold on. Okay. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy Spirit,
no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. 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 All right, let's go.
But I digress, y'all. And this squatty right here made a very interesting observation. It says Althorp would be closed on the 10th through the 11th of July. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana are going to visit the Spencer family. Now, I looked it up. The Invictus Games 1 Year to Go event has not made the date that is going to happen public yet. So this squatty might be on to something, because why is Althorp going to be closed for 2 days, the 10th and the 11th of July? Very curious, very curious. This squatty goes on and says their grandmother's resting place. OMGGGG. This is so good. They're going to witness how much loved and admired she is. A legend, the icon of our times. OMG. Now, it is a possibility because that date has not been announced. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think this might be a possibility if and only if Harry and Meghan do go to the United Kingdom? And could it be why Harry might be motivated to take his kids to the United Kingdom? Because he has said it is his desire for his kids to know their history, to know their British culture, and to visit his mother's grave. So y'all tell me what y'all think, because there it is. She posted the receipt where it says it will be closed. Have y'all noticed that even though Willie is half Spencer, just like Harry, and none of the Spencer family is ever invited to any royal events? Now, Willie and Kitty has that Christmas Carol catastrophe every year, but they don't invite any of the Spencers. But I did see the twin daughters of Charles Spencer, which would be Willie and Harry's first cousins. I did see them at Ascot, but they weren't in the royal box. They were nowhere near the royal family. And side note, they were just beautiful and impeccably dressed. We all know it was the Spencers that brought class and grace into the Windsor clan. And ever since Diana and Meghan left them, they are a rolling clown show. They are. But I digress. It is so strange to me how they have just cut the Spencer family out. But we all know that that's on brand for the royal family. They cannot tolerate the good because we know good cannot exist in the presence of evil. And one thing about the royal family, all of those lizard people are evil. But I digress. Look at this. This popped up today in the Telegraph, and it says Prince Harry and Meghan to stay at royal residence. Now, what do y'all think about this? This is coming by way of Victoria Ward. And this squatty said knew, according to Victoria Ward at the Telegraph, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will stay at a royal residence with their children when they return to the UK next month. The family was offered both accommodations and security provisions by the king. What do y'all think? I got some pushback when I said that Charles, being so outdone by the turnout and his reception at the Trooping of the Color, he absolutely started to make some changes. Because 6 days ago, seven now, Harry and Meghan knew nothing about none of this. And how we know that Harry and Meghan knew nothing about this is their spokesperson. They came out when this story first popped up well over a week ago. Harry and Meghan's spokesperson came out and pushed back and said their security has not changed. And Harry would like to bring his wife and children to the UK, but his security had not changed. So we know that around 6 days ago, 7 days ago, that none of this was in motion. And what has happened between those 7 days was trooping of the color. And pretty much people not showing up for that family and getting booed. Yeah, because not only did Kitty get booed, Charles and his horse were booed as well. And so he was up there on that sparse balcony looking down on a very sparse crowd and got so upset that he didn't want to stay for the national anthem. The horse had to redirect him and tell him to come back for his own national anthem. So something has gone on to make Charles flinch. If this is true, he definitely has flinched. So y'all tell me what y'all think. But I really think Charles is sick and tired of being so deeply unpopular, and he now understands that his treatment of his baby son, his daughter-in-law, and his grandchildren has been devastating to his popularity and to the people's interest in that family. Like I said, y'all tell me what y'all think, but this is the only thing I can come up with that would justify Charles switching up so quickly. Because it looks like if it was in the works, don't you think Harry and Meghan's spokesperson would have maybe not even said anything? Because they came out definitively and said that Harry and Meghan's security had not changed. And I don't think they would have came out and said that if something was in the works or if it had changed, because Harry and Meghan, they don't move like that. They don't lie. So yeah, I'm thinking something happened quickly to cause that whole institution to flinch like this, because something drastically had to change. Something had to occur to change minds over there, because if this is true and Harry and Meghan and those babies are going across the pond and are actually going to stay on a royal residence, minds have been changed. So, this is the article, and I am going to read just a little bit of it. And like I said, it was written by Victoria Ward, and the title of the article is Prince Harry and Meghan to Stay at Royal Residence. The King offers security guarantee as the couple return with their children ahead of the Invictus Games. It says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will stay at a royal residence with their children when they return to the UK next month, the Telegraph can reveal. The family was offered both accommodations and security provisions by the King in a move to signal a clear desire to reunite with his young grandchildren. Prince Harry had long planned to travel back to the UK to attend events marking the 1 year to go countdown to the Invictus Games 2027 in Birmingham, but his decision to bring Meghan as well as Prince Archie 7 and Princess Lilibet 5 was made only recently following assurance from Buckingham Palace. That is what I was saying. Something changed, and something changed very quickly. And in my profession, my past profession as a therapist, I know behavior doesn't change unless enough anxiety is introduced. So, something always promotes change in human beings. So, I said all that to say this. Something has motivated Charles to change. What is it? Being deeply unpopular with the people and people not showing up for that family. I believe Charles is scared shitless that his reign is going to be a disaster, and he is grasping at straws trying to save himself. And he knows that Harry, Meghan, and those babies are his lifeline, are his lifesavers. And he is absolutely trying to grasp onto that. And this has motivated to change. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I must say, I'm starting to believe that this might absolutely be true. That the Sussex family will be returning to the UK. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I know a lot of squatties are still saying they're waiting on Harry and Meghan, and I am waiting on Harry and Meghan to confirm as well. But I must say, I am at about 60-40 that they will make the trip to the United Kingdom with the children. That's the way I feel right now. Now, I'm not saying I'm right and I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just telling you how I feel. Y'all tell me what y'all think. This squatty said, still no word from Harry and Meghan's camp on the family returning to the UK, but the UK media spin has King Charles supposedly set to cover all security costs upon for their return. If true, I would love to be a fly on the wall at Kensington Palace. Yes, let the tantrums begin. And you best believe it has begun. I mean, several articles have come out about how much Willie and Kitty loathe Harry and Meghan. It took no time for Willie and Kitty to be on the bullshice. I mean, it didn't take no time for them to start planning stories about how much Willie hates his brother and how him and Kitty just blames Megan for everything. Yeah, we know you do because at one time you had 100% control over Harry. Harry was always trying to please his big brother. And now Harry could not give two shits about anything that Willie thinks, believes, or wants. And that is why Willie and Kitty are so mad. They don't have the control over Harry like they used to. Harry has come into his own. He has married a very strong woman who always was in her own bag. But I digress on that point. Yeah, the stories have started to be planted, and we're going to discuss a few of them. And the number one go to every time Willie has filled his cup up with all of those salty tears, he runs over to that thumbhead Tom Sykes. And that is exactly what he has done this time. But that's not the only place. He is all over the place talking about how he doesn't want to see Harry, how he loathes Harry, on and on and on like hot butter on popcorn. And Harry has never expressed any desire to reunite with him. Let's not get it twisted. Harry has only expressed a desire to reunite with his father. Harry said that publicly. He has never ever said anything about Willie and Kitty. They're always inserting themselves into a situation that doesn't have anything to do with them. Harry can have a relationship with his father and it has nothing to do with Willie, but Willie cannot stand the fact that he is not centered and he is not part of the conversation. So he is going to act out. The tantrums have begun. All I can say is we're going to sit back and watch him implode because implode is exactly what him and Kitty are going to do. And Zanny Sussex posted the Substack from that thumbhead Tom Sykes. And he says exclusive. And when he says exclusive like this, it means that Willie has trotted his arse all the way down there with his cup of salty tears to Tom Thumbhead Sykes and gave him this exclusive. It says, raging William shuns Charles over Harry and Meghan invite. Well, I'm sure Charles is all broke up about this because Willie and Kitty has been shunning Charles and his horse the whole time. Now they put on a good show at Ascot, but we all know that it was a show. And Willie and Kitty being center stage has failed to bring in the popularity and the eyeballs that Charles needs for a successful reign, for him to be considered a successful king. So Charles is going to plan B, which is Harry and Meghan. I mean, the sure thing, the ones that always consistently knocks everything out of the park. Yes, the home run hitters. And so Willie is mad, big mad. This is all predictable, him and Kitty, because it is rooted in their deep insecurities when it comes to Harry and Meghan. They know they're less than. They know that they are mediocre. And being in the presence of Harry and Meghan makes them feel small, which doesn't make them feel good. Instead of seeing Harry and Meghan as an asset, he is so short sighted, Willie is, that he sees the only person here on God's green earth that loves him for who he is. Harry has always loved his brother, but Willie has never loved him. And that has always been the root and the crux of the problem when it comes to the relationship between Harry and Willie. Harry has always been loving, Willie has always been jealous. And it says William sees Meghan and Harry developments as proof that his weak father has been emotionally blackmailed with relations between the two men at a new low. In my opinion, it's a very weak man who attacks their father who is cancer stricken. It is a very weak man who attacks his father who wants to have a relationship with his son and his grandchildren. It is a very weak man who feels that his father has to choose between him and his brother. It is a very weak man who is so disrespectful to his father that he's out here leaking to all these flying monkeys that his father, who he supposedly loves, is weak. Harry would never. And also making it a point that his father has to choose between him and his brother. Harry would never. He would never. Because he understands it's not him versus Willie. Well, I'll tell you who is weak, and that would be Willie. Because Willie has not helped his father, has not come in to support his father, and every opportunity that he has to attack his father, he does so. And I'll tell you who really is emotionally blackmailing their father, and that would be Willie. Because I haven't heard Harry say not one time Charles has to choose, it has to be him or Willie. But we have saw it time and time again. Planet story after planet story after planet story. Of Willie saying exactly that. And so him running to Tom Thumbhead Sykes with all of his salty tears is not a good look for him. And he should tread lightly when it comes to crossing Charles. Because Charles is an old dog, yes, and he knows how to bite. Charles has his own set of flying monkeys, and he will not hesitate in letting them loose on Willie's arse. So my advice to Willie and his mannequin wife, they need to have a seat, have several seats, and let whatever be when it comes to Harry and his father. My opinion. And Zanny Sussex, who posted this article, said, here's the whole tantrum from William Macbeth for those who ask. Apparently, if Charles meets his grandchildren, Willie will pull the curtains down and boycott Syndrium forever. Did you hear that? Forever. I'm sure Charles is shaking in his boots. Sarcasm alert. Willie is a absolute sociopath. And we're going to get into this article just a little bit. And it starts out by saying Prince William has threatened to boycott Sandringham and shunned a key family gathering with his father last weekend in disgust at learning of Meghan Markle's triumphant imminent return to the UK on the arm of Prince Harry. Do you see how that was worded? I mean, I have said this time and time and time again, and I will continue to say it. Willie and Kitty and all of those flying monkeys over there and those toadies, they are out of their ever loving minds. They really see this as some kind of battle. I mean, in their heads, somehow they really think that they are at war with Harry and Meghan. It makes no sense. Rational minds should prevail, but we know they will not because there's no rational minds over there. They're all batshit crazy. And that is the reason why I find them so dangerous. These people really see this couple as some kind of threat. A couple that lives 5,000 miles away, that does nothing but mind their business and hadn't muttered the name of Willie and Kitty in 4 years. But here they are with this bullshit. It makes no sense to me. And trying to paint Megan as someone who is gloating because she somehow has won. Won what? Triumphant about what? Megan is trying to raise her children, make her business a success, enjoy her life with her husband, and mind her business. That's all she is trying to do. And she is going along with this mess, if it is a mess that we think it is, and they are going to the United Kingdom. She's going along with this because she loves her husband. But through their red haze of anger and hate, they see it as a triumphant return. This is how sick these people are. And sick people are very, very dangerous. So if Harry and Meghan do return and go over there to the United Kingdom, I am going to be on pins and needles because these people are crazy. And Harry and Meghan need to keep their heads on a swivel and understand who they're dealing with. They are dealing with people who can't see straight. They can't see that this return, if it happens, is not Megan returning triumphant. It's Megan loving her husband enough to do it. Because if it was up to her, you best believe when Megan made that deep bow to the Queen's coffin, I believe it would have been just fine with Megan if she never ever saw any of those lizard people again. My opinion. But this nonsense article from Thumbhead goes on and says the visit is being paid for by King Charles, who I am told is happy at the outcome, which means he will get to meet his grandchildren, Archie, Lilibeth, for the first time in several years. Yeah, and I am willing to bet we're going to have some pictures. Yes, because this is all about PR for Charles. Charles knows he's circling the drain and he wants to be close to the shine. And he says, I also exclusively revealed on my podcast with guest Mark Nolan, who is so dangerous and reckless with his mouth. That man is so crazy and so rabid when it comes to Megan. I cannot with him. If you hadn't heard anything from him, you don't need to bother because if you don't want to get mad, if you don't want to get angry, if you don't want to absolutely want to rip his head off, don't bother because this man is crazy. He says some of the most antagonizing things, trying to provoke hate towards Megan. But I digress on that point. It says William is so appalled by what he sees as his father's betrayal. 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 That word. And you know that came straight out of Willie's mouth. He feels betrayed that his father wants to have a relationship with his son and his grandchildren. I mean, this is how sick, this is how deep the sickness is for Willie. This just didn't start with Harry meeting Meghan. This didn't start with Harry moving to the US. This started when Harry was born. This sickness is deep rooted in who Willie is. He is a narcissistic sociopath. You have to be to see your father trying to establish a relationship with your brother and his grandchildren as a betrayal. To me, that is so telling. It tells me everything I need to know about the psyche of Willie. It says William is so appalled by what he sees as his father's betrayal that he refused to join a customary family lunch after Trooping of the Color last weekend and left the celebration with his wife, Catherine, and their three children. Yes, and I am willing to bet you that Charles was happy to see the back of their heads because they were in there just causing all kinds of problems. That is what Willie does. If he can't have his way, he throws all of the toys out of the pram. I'm just saying. It says he will boycott the big house at Sandringham forever if Harry and Meghan are invited there, as they have been lobbying to be allowed to for several weeks, one source said. I believe that is a bald-faced lie. Harry and Meghan didn't care anything about Sandringham. I'm gonna say what I think about Meghan. I don't think Meghan, she could have cared less if she ever saw those people's faces again. I do not believe that they were lobbying for that. That's Willie trying to plant lies because we know that him and Kitty do nothing but try to lie and lie and lie. They plant lies after lies after lies in those rags over there, trying to make themselves look good and make Harry and Meghan look bad because they can't compete head on head with the Sussexes, and they know it. And it says Charles's friends have defended the king, with one telling me tonight that he was likely inspired by the Bible story of the prodigal son, saying it's a happy outcome for the king. The fatted calf will be slaughtered. So they gonna put on the dog for Harry and Meghan. So basically, the friends of Charles is saying that he is opening his arms to Harry, Meghan, and the kids. Charles wants to go with the winners. He's tired of riding with the losers, the mediocres, the one who can't figure their way out of a wet paper bag. He wants to go with the ones who are bringing the eyeballs. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. More and more I read, the more and more I believe it because Charles's friends are chiming in. I'm starting to believe it. Y'all know I said when I started this podcast, I was at 60-40. Now I'm at 70-30. Y'all tell me what y'all's percentage are that you think that Harry and Meghan will make the trip across the pond. Like I say, I'm at, I won't say 75-25. It keeps going up. But boy, is it going to be a bumpy ride because Willie is going to pull all of the dirty tricks that he has out of his bag. You know he is. I'm just saying. And look at this. This is another story that Willie been out here playing, saying deeply betrayed. Prince William unlikely to meet Prince Harry and Meghan Markle during trip to the UK next month. And I haven't heard Harry express any interest in seeing him. Who in the world wants to see an angry man like Willie? Who in the world wants to expose his wife and children to a raging lunatic? I'm just saying, Harry did that one time and he put his finger in Meghan's face. I don't think Harry is going to do that again. I don't think Meghan will do that again. And they certainly are not going to expose their children to that nonsense. So all I can say is, like this squatty said, good. Please keep William away. I want Meghan and the kids to have a pleasant trip. Exactly. So I don't understand why he thinks that's such a big deal, but he is so desperate to center himself in this situation. He knows that he is not centered. People are not taking in consideration him and Kitty. They don't care. Charles don't care. They said Charles is happy. Like I said, Charles want to go with the winners. He want to run with the big dogs. Yes. And so, because of that, he is leaving the two pups on the porch. This squatty said Willie will continue to scream. I think he knows that Harry saw him for what he is and doesn't care about him. So Mr. Douche King to be, aka future King Dumb as a Rock, has to reiterate every time that he hates his brother. The fact that Prince Harry has not begged for forgiveness is eating him up, so he is lashing out. And all I can say to that is forgiveness for what? If anybody needs to be apologizing, it's Willie and Kitty. They created this whole scenario. They did nothing but breathe and plant stories against Harry and his wife and made her feel so unwelcome that she wanted to unalive herself. So, miss me, he can lash out all he wants to, but until he turns into a decent human being and open his arms to his brother and apologize to his brother and his wife, I have nothing but smoke for future King Dumb as a Rock and his future Queen Dumb as a Rock as well. This other squatty said the elephant in the room is if that family had treated Harry with warmth and affection, then he wouldn't have anything to say. But they lied and threw him and his small family to the wolves in hopes of making themselves look better, and it failed. Woo! I'm telling you, is this not nothing but it all in a nutshell? Exactly. It is a saying that says if you want people to speak well of you, treat them well. Harry and Meghan just told their truth. They told the story, what happened to them. If they had treated them well, they would have had nothing but good things to say about them. And they know this. And Spare was nothing but Harry telling his truth. If they had treated Harry decently, then Spare would have never happened. And if it did happen, it would have been nothing but glowing accounts of how well Charles treated his son, how well Willie treated his brother, how well the institution treated Harry and Meghan. But they know that Spare is true. It has been accepted as true. So I don't understand where the problem is. Now, I saw a panel. It was on that old nonsense show of piss morons called Uncensored Royals. And they were talking about how the Netflix cameras are going to come and how this is just going to be another chapter in Spare 2 and on and on and on and on. My whole thing is if Charles is really going to kill the fatted calf, if he really is going to do his due diligence and be good and kind to Harry and Meghan, he doesn't have to be afraid of what he says. He doesn't have to be afraid of what will come out in a Spare 2 if it's ever a Spare 2. He doesn't have to worry about that. When you behave in a manner of respect and love towards someone, they don't have anything negative to say about you. You want them to speak on you. So I don't understand. These people, these flying monkeys are so malignant. They are so used to operating on the premise that 2 plus 2 equals 5. When presented with the facts that 2 plus 2 equals 4, they don't even know how to act. They don't even acknowledge it or be able to recognize that because they have been so disingenuous for so long when it comes to Harry and Meghan. They don't even understand the whole connection of treating someone well. You don't care what they say. You don't care what's recorded. You don't have to hide. You don't have to cover up anything. And you definitely do not have to be afraid of the truth because the truth is the truth. Like I said, they have been so disingenuous for so long, they can't even wrap their head around the whole concept of the truth. Bring in the Netflix cameras, bring in the new chapters of Spare because you're going to look good. Your redemption is going to show up in the pages of that book. But these people are crazy. They're crazy. And I'm telling you, if it is a downfall of that monarchy, it is going to come at the hands of that trash media over there. I'm just saying. This squatty said that raging psychopath William is already trying to make himself the center of the Sussex family return to the UK. What a malignant narcissist. I'm going to leave it there. I said what I had to say on the topic. And I agree with this squatty. And this squatty said, what is this new narrative about Meghan and her kids overshadowing the Invictus Games? Big stars show up at NFL, NBA, even do halftime shows, and nobody calls it overshadowing. In fact, it's a great PR boost every time. Please stop with this deranged tabloid take. Exactly. And this is the position that I am going to take if Harry and Meghan show up. Because my whole thing is, how are you overshadowing someone when you are just showing up? It makes no sense. If Invictus 1 year ago get overshadowed, it's not Harry and Meghan's fault. It is that trash media's fault because they can't keep Harry and Meghan's name out of their mouths. All right, y'all, we're going to switch gears because I want to talk about Kitty's mama and her behavior at Ascot a couple of days ago when Kitty and Willie attended Ascot. Now, I reported on it that very same day, but I did not have any video. But now we have that beautiful bean footage we do, and I am going to run it and we're going to talk about it on the other side. And of course, Kate had to come in and get her mama. Yes, look at her face. Y'all know Willie told Kitty to go up there and get her mama. Yes, go get your mom, girl, because she's up there showing her complete fair ass.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Y'all know that's what Kate was telling her mama. Yes, Kate said, you done lost your damn mind. Why you up here wilding out like some kind of old trash hoe? Yes, Carolyn Middleton was up there acting a straight up fool. And I just love it for Kate. I do. And Willie too. This squatty says, bubbles in the royal box at Ascot must be some strong stuff. Carol appears to be liquid happy. But then again, to be fair, I would be happy too if I got away without paying £2.6 million worth of debt. Exactly. I'm telling you, all those debtors were mad. They went around to every pole, every tree in Buckleberry and put up flyers saying, bitch better have my money. And Jane Middleton had to go around and snatch them all down. That was some good times when we heard about that. But I digress. It says, did Kate tell her mom off for being too giddy? Watch till the end. She didn't look happy when she took her in the back. Mama's future queen almost walked into a wall, her hat kissing it. Yeah, she was trying to get Carol Middleton to exit stage left, if you know what I mean. Yes, because she was up there showing her fair ass. That's what my mama used to say. Y'all up in there showing your fair ass. Yes, and so was Carol. And this squatty reposted that squatty and said, "This is hilarious. Mom Middleton bumping into the wall." South, the mother of the future queen. Yes, the mother of the future queen. Dumb as a rock. This squatty said Carol Middleton appears to be intoxicated at Ascot Royal Box. People around her seem to have realized it. It looks like Kate had to approach her and scold her and take her inside. As I said, it's quite telling her husband isn't around anymore at these public appearances. Very telling. Very telling. And this squatty did a repost, and the original post said, after a backroom chat where Mean Girl Kate told her mother off, bankrupt, not squatties calling Carol Middleton bankrupt Carol. I love squatties. I do. It says bankrupt Carol is not happy. Y'all, I cannot with squatties. This squatty that reposted it said, "Ma is not happy after her telling off, laughing my A off. I'm telling you, bankrupt is not happy." This squatty said, "Saw a post about Carol Middleton described as never seeks attention or gets the spotlight with a quiet grace. Be honest, if someone else's mom mugged for the camera or was grasping like this woman, how do you think the media would report on it?" Exactly. We hadn't had a peep. Everything I have heard about Carol's behavior at Ascot has been on these internet streets, and squatties have been discussing it. No one else. No articles, no think pieces, no panel discussions. And you best believe if this had been Doria, oh yeah, you would have got the articles, you would have got the think pieces, you would have got panel after panel after panel. But we get crickets when it comes to Kitty's mama. I cannot. This squatty said, "Imagine if Doria was caught using her own private stash like this." Let's not forget, this is not the first time that Carol Middleton has acted out of pocket. Yes, drinking out of a paper bag like a wino on Skid Row in LA. But nothing said. Nothing said. And then after that, this squatty said there would be headlines for weeks if Doria was ever drunk in public like Carol often is. Also, has she paid for the wedding cake? Has she paid the wedding cake baker yet? Squatties are vicious. They are. But yeah, look how she's behaving. This is not the first time for Carol, and it won't be the last. She has, in my opinion, a alcohol problem, and she's not the only one either. I'm just saying. And one of my favorite squatties, Henry VIII, just summed it up just perfectly. She said, "Doria Ragland has done nothing but silently supported her daughter. She was the epitome of grace at every royal and royal adjacent event she attended, yet she was greeted with racist headlines and press sneers." Carol Middleton appeared to be visibly intoxicated at Royal Ascot yesterday. The Middletons' company dissolved while leaving vendors unpaid. There has been multiple attempts by Kate's siblings to cash in on their status, but sometime in 2017, they became untouchable. It's racism played out on a national stage. I will not add anything or take anything away. Enough said. And look at this. Yes, Michael Middleton did show up, but he showed up the next day. This squatty said the Princess of Wales' father, Michael Middleton, and Andrew Parker Bowles attended day 3 of Royal Ascot at Ascot Racecourse today. Yes, he waited to come the third day. Now, Carol came first day and the second day. I don't think she came the third day. He came the third day. It might be a bigger story going on here than we know about. Or it just could be that he is sick of her drunk arse embarrassing him. I'm just saying. And this happened. Yes, looked like Karma got out of her bed. Yes, put on her tight black dress, her red bottom stilettos, and just twisted herself all the way down to Channel 5 Studios, knocked on Vanessa's door and kissed her in the mouth. Yes, Zanny Sussex posted this. It says Vanessa Feltz blindsided by Channel 5 bosses as her daytime chat show is axed after just 1 year on the air. Yes, this woman here who only had smoke for Megan. Nobody else, just Megan. She would tie herself in knots in order to make Megan the villain of everyone's story. And now Karma has kissed her in the mouth. Sandy Sussex posted this and said, Karma, we love you. Hashtag Karma. Yes, we do. I love it. I love when Karma has time for it. And she had time for Vanessa yesterday. And the squatty that posted, Zanny said, Miss Karma has been working overtime. First, Jeremy Clarkson's cancer announcement, and now Vanessa Feltz being asked. Who's next? Things happen in threes. I don't know. But yeah, they do happen in threes. I am keeping my ear to the ground to see who number three is. I'm just saying, I'm petty that way and messy as well. All right, y'all. Y'all know I love to end on a positive note, and I want to end with this official portrait of President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. This portrait hangs in the Obama Presidential Library that was opened officially yesterday. And the ceremony for the opening was so moving. And the part that got me in my feels, I was crying. And that was when First Lady Michelle Obama did her speech. And she talked about her husband and the kind of man he was, how gracious he was, how kind he was, how intelligent he was, and what a man of faith and kindness and love and dignity, and how honest he was. I'm telling you, I cried. I did. It was so nostalgic. And it just really brought in focus what we are missing in the White House right now. We are missing a real leader with a moral core. The First Lady's speech, it made me weep. It did. And all of the music, I mean, John Legend and Common, doing the song Glory. Oh my God, I cried there as well. And it was a young mother there, and she brought her two young boys. They came all the way from California. And she said she came to the Obama Library and that ceremony in order to show her son what a real man looks like, what a man who you can look up to looks like. Ah, I'm telling you, I was verklempt. It was just so moving on so many levels. I mean, it was as if my spirit was hungry for it. It was just so overwhelming to me. And this picture right here hangs in the library, and I love it. I do. And this squatty that posted it said Barack and Michelle Obama first ever commissioned joint portrait was revealed today. And yeah, it says retweet if you love the Obamas. And of course, how can you not love the Obamas? And after that ceremony yesterday, how can you not love and miss the Obamas? I'm just saying. And I also want to remind everybody who the real Queen of Ascot is. This squatty said the real Queen of London. Hashtag Megan, the Duchess of Sussex. All right, y'all. Y'all know I always enjoy spending time with y'all, and I will be doing it again very, very soon. If you want to support the channel, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. All you have to do is click the little three dots below, and the super thanks button is right there. And if you want to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, the link to that is right below as well. And if you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can go over to patreon.com/The Royal Read and become a member of the reading club over there. You also can just join because I'll be over there posting. I'm going to post a very cute video about how to make a cake. Yes, I'm going to post it over there very, very soon. So yeah, I'm posting over there all the time. So if you don't want to be a part of the reading club over there, just be a member. Also, you can support me at buymeacoffee.com. Yes, /The Royal Read, and PayPal, Cash App, you name it. Look in the bio. Plenty ways to support. And if you choose to support, I will be so grateful and so thankful. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all know I have to remind you, if you have the hype button, hype up the video, because that right there is how we grow, how we get the podcast pushed out for more eyeballs to see. So yes, if you have the hype button, hype your girl up. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.